everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And we are father
And son.
And Jayson, what are we tackling today, man?
We are tackling X-Men Season 3.
So, we have had a strange, tumultuous road getting to this point, and we're continuing to shoot several weeks in advance, so you guys probably won't feel this, but for us, it has been months since we recorded that video for X-Men Season 2, and at the point of this recording, Jayson, I haven't posted that yet. That's going to go up this week.
Oh.
But Season 3, we've actually watched twice now, because we didn't feel comfortable sitting down and talking about it after the first watch, because we made the same mistake we did with Season 2 and watched it in the order on Disney+. Honestly, I just spaced it. I wasn't thinking anything about it, and after getting through the initial Phoenix saga, it wasn't until like episode 7 or 8 that I was like, oh, wait a minute, I think this order might be strange and off, but we'd already gotten, so far into it, we went ahead and just finished it.
Well, I mean, so what happened was we kind of forgot what happened when we were gonna shoot it, and then I was taking notes, and I looked at the order, and I was like, wait, this episode from like Season 4 is in this?
Yeah.
And I was like,
so there were kind of several reasons that we felt the need to start over, but I had that too. For whatever reason, bits of the season did not stick with me well, and I'm going to have that today too, to be honest with you. And it's funny because in some ways I think this is the best season so far, and in other ways it's not as good. It's weird, right? Like,
yeah, there are some things from each season that are not very good.
It's much more epic than the first two seasons, and a lot more like important things happen, but I think I'm finding myself more distanced from and less interested in certain characters.
Oh.
I think that's kind of a lot of it, where there's characters that aren't as much in the 4 as they were that I really like, and other characters that are too much in the 4 that I am not liking as much. We've got the whiniest Cyclops imaginable.
Yeah, and I will talk about that.
This has already, in a way, kind of been the Cyclops and Jean Grey show, but this season, of course, it's absolutely that. And even Wolverine feels kind of in the background this season. Some episodes, it feels like he's almost, like, more comic relief than anything. I mean, he's got an episode or two.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't feel as prominent as he has.
Yeah.
So the first time we watched Season 3, as Jayson alluded to, we watched some episodes that apparently are technically Season 4 episodes, if you're looking at it in production order. And there were episodes that are in Season 4 in the Disney Plus order that are actually supposed to be Season 3 episodes. So also part of the reason we're doing this, like Jayson was talking about, is there were episodes that we should have been talking about here that we wouldn't have been, that are technically part of the season. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. Jayson is going to run point for us, as he always does. Overall, Jayson, how do you feel like this season stacks up to the other two? I've already kind of said I have kind of mixed feelings about it, but where do you land? And give us kind of your big overview of favorite and least favorite stuff.
I think this is probably like it's better than 2, and I think I like 1 better than 3. I think 1 is my favorite season.
Yeah.
And I think 3 is kind of like in the middle. 2 had that thing that was like kind of boring with Xavier and Magneto just running around
in the Savage Land.
And
we bring back the Savage Land here.
And
a whole lot of follow-ups this season to stuff we've done before.
Yeah, even in episodes of this season.
Yeah, that's true. I can see why you're saying 1 is your favorite. Yet at the moment, I'm having a really hard time even really ranking the seasons, but 1 continues to be the best kind of defining season for the kind of the best proof of concept season, right? Like, conceptually, what X-Men is about. We get away from that some here. The goal of trying to get mutants and humans to live together, to cohabit peacefully, the kind of, anti-bigotry message of the whole thing, that's still there, but this season is much more about cosmic and space stuff. We finally take the X-Men to space. I like how we kind of ease them into that at the beginning, where they pretend to be a group of astronauts that get on a spacecraft, on a shuttle mission, like a NASA mission, and then from then on, it's kind of like we do a lot with Ninja Turtles, where once we get to space, we just cannot stay away from space. Like, once we have made contact with the Shi'ar Empire, it's all over. It's just gonna be space every other episode after that.
And it's like the worst villain ever, D'Ken.
D'Ken. We cannot stop laughing about D'Ken,
Yeah.
whose whole plot is to make the universe into a crystal, question mark?
He's basically sucking the whole entire universe into this diamond, and I guess that, like, makes everything turn into stone or something? I don't know exactly what's happening there.
It's a little confusing as to what exactly he thinks he's getting out of all of that. He's this this guy from space, from some race. Is he a Shi'ar guy, or I forget what race he even is.
I don't.
But
yeah, cause he's that one woman's like cousin or something, or like brother.
Are they related?
Yeah,
oh, that's right.
related.
That's her. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's Oh, what's her face?
Trying to think of her name.
Yeah. I'll think of it. Yeah, Lilandra.
Lilandra.
Yeah. Xavier's extraterrestrial flame, Lilandra, who is somehow even more theatrical and melodramatic and Shakespearean than Xavier, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, D'Ken is the singular most generic villain I can think of, and he's made
like,
such a big deal out of because
he's like the worst villain of them all.
Yeah,
and he's like D'Ken.
It's D'Ken. Which is like what's funny is it's the least memorable villain name, but because we can't stop making fun of it, it's become the most memorable villain name.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Klingon. In fact, all of the male Shi'ar are like Klingons to me.
Yeah. Especially the one in, I think, the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah,
where he's like...
the second half of the Dark Phoenix saga. He's got, like, the Gowron eyes?
Yeah. No, that's actually...
Or was it even later than that?
That was, I think that was Orphan's End. That was the one with Dad.
Oh, okay. So, we're looking at a list right now that's listing Season 3 in even a different order. Is this not the aired order, what I'm looking at here?
No.
Oh, okay. So we gotta go back and look at the aired order because or not the aired order, the production order. Because the way it aired, like Nightcrawler was in this season, but we didn't watch Nightcrawler.
Yeah, we didn't.
Let me just make sure that. Yeah, so the order you were going with on Wikipedia ends with Love in Vain,
which is a really weird episode.
That's a very strange episode. That's the rogue-centered episode for that season.
The rogue episode, and
her old flame,
like the only episode that
returns.
Gambit is in.
Hardly at all. Yeah, he's barely in this season.
Yeah.
That's hyperbolic. We see Gambit a little bit, but he doesn't really do a lot.
He's in Dark Phoenix because he like hangs out with like Cyclops or something. Anyway,
yeah.
Should we just do good things and bad things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's start with the good things. So, I really like the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga. There are some really weird stuff in these episodes, but also some.
That's a lot of what gives it its charm.
Yeah.
Though. The strangest things come from Wolverine and one-liners and more screaming.
Yeah. And I'm Phoenix. But yeah,
do you think some of the goofiest stuff we've seen so far is in this season?
Yeah, probably.
It seems like the more dramatic and serious they try to go, the more I'm laughing at it.
Funnier, it's
Yeah. Like, this thing gets, like, really dead serious in giving Cyclops, like, multiple, almost mental breakdowns. Like, Cyclops needs massive therapy after this season. He is in such bad psychological shape, and I can't stop laughing at it. I mean, it gets really funny.
It's really funny, but I also don't like it that
And like
much.
I want to feel for him, but then we're kind of breaking that cardinal rule of sympathetic protagonist where he just won't stop complaining about his plight.
Yeah.
And I mean, things work out for him at the end because, unlike in the comics, we don't actually kill Jean Grey in this because it's a Fox cartoon. So I mean, they're not, we didn't kill off Morph either.
Yeah, we didn't.
But I know we're jumping around a lot, but isn't it strange that once we bring we bring back the Phoenix and go through Dark Phoenix Saga, and then each of the X-Men gives like a part of their life force in order to bring her back, which is such a Power Ranger move. And they suffer no ill effect for it whatsoever. There are no consequences for their doing that. It's just like, well, one person gets sacrificed himself, and then Cyclops and Wolverine are like nudging each other, fighting each other to get to be the one that gets to sacrifice themselves for It's like, no, get out of my way, Bob. And he's like, it's not gonna be you, no. And then whoever it is, I can't remember who it is. Is it another Shi'ar person? Somebody's like, well, you actually, that doesn't have to be one person. It's just all of you that care about her can give a part of your life force. And so they all do that, right? And then there are several episodes, or at least a few episodes left in the season, and we don't see Jean Grey again.
Yeah.
But she's alive and around, and Cyclops talks about her like she's around.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in this season. Like I like how like Jean is like, no, I have to fly the ship, and then Cyclops is like screaming at her because he screams at people. That's just what
it's
he
like
does.
the opposite of what happens at the end of X2, where she insists on being outside the ship or outside the plane.
Yeah, and basically it goes to flames, and she turns into the Phoenix, and she's like, I am Phoenix, and then the episode ends, and then there's another episode, and then later she becomes all dark because of this like group. I don't
Which
even
is the
remember.
Hellfire Club, but it's a Fox cartoon, so they can't be called the Hellfire Club, so they're just generically the Circle. And it's Sebastian Shaw. And do you remember Sebastian Shaw from First Class?
I think so.
He's Kevin Bacon in that.
I think so.
He's a kind of a vastly different character from what he is here, but
Yeah.
but they've got him and Emma Frost together in that also, like in this. And so yeah, the whole idea is supposed to be that the Phoenix has gotten a taste for the variety of human emotions. She wants to experience the gamut of new sensations. It's a new sensation, and she's and she becomes obsessed with hurting people because that kind of becomes fun for her, because like sadism, I guess, is like the main emotion she lands on.
I thought this was a kid show. I thought they didn't want to kill people off.
Well, the problem is that we're adapting Chris Claremont, and so they're having a difficult time, kind of walking that balance, or kind of walking that line, striking that balance. And I certainly appreciate that they're able to get as close to some of his ideas as they're able to with that. That's a really cool classic science fiction idea, like a cosmic entity that is trying to understand humanity and experience what it's like to be human, and they don't understand us. And so that could be really scary because of the dichotomy of, good and evil that is within all men, that whole idea.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why it took that long, because she's dealt with people before, but I guess the idea of like possessing someone and then being forced to do the bidding of somebody like Shaw is supposed to be the thing that gives her a taste for that. That setup is fine. That first half of Dark Phoenix is really bloated and kind of boring and goes on too long.
Yeah.
And I don't think that whole thing should have been called the Dark Phoenix Saga, because she doesn't even really become Dark Phoenix until she's been possessing, Jean Grey, while also being controlled by Shaw for a while. There's also kind of that question of do you even buy that Shaw would be able to possess this entity? I guess there's I found myself kind of having that question. But then, but I would have just called that its own thing. And then the Dark Phoenix saga proper is really just 2 episodes long. Yeah. I mean, really.
I don't even know why she has to call herself Dark Phoenix.
It's very silly that she puts really the Dark moniker in front of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm the Dark Phoenix now. Again, kind of a Power Ranger sort of move. Yeah. But then, I found myself liking the initial Phoenix saga a lot more. I just thought that was a lot more fun. Yeah. With remember like crazy Psycho Xavier?
Yes, that's
some of my favorite stuff.
That is my other best thing.
We'll have to get to that.
Dark Xavier is hilarious.
It's fantastic.
And like, yeah.
We get a personification of Xavier's dark side, and of course, I'm always talking about how much I like morally ambiguous Xavier, and it's sort of like seeing Onslaught before Onslaught, except more fun, because he's Xavier if he had no conscience and no inhibitions at all, and if he's just like really sick of his like whiny pupils, and if he didn't believe in the tenets of his and his principles anymore.
I think my favorite thing about
he's got that insane
face.
Yeah, he's like that crazy sadistic smile.
And
that was perfect. That was exactly what that looks like.
I think my favorite thing about him when he's like Dark Xavier is what happens before he becomes Dark Xavier, because he's like, you are driving me insane!
That is the classic Xavier moment.
Yeah.
We get no fewer than a dozen Xavier screams this season, and it's fantastic.
It's hilarious. Should we go on to bad things? Because...
Did we already cover all your good things?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go to bad things.
So...
And there are several.
Gambit and Rogue do not get a lot to do.
Yeah.
And they're like my 2 favorite characters.
To be fair, how much real estate is taking up with something that has the word Phoenix in the title? I mean, a lot, right? Like, a lot of the season is something Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Beast. But Beast does get that really great episode where he kind of falls in love with the spaceship, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
So,
that was also a really good classic science fiction show.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite episodes of the season. I
really?
think that one's pretty cool. Oh, you didn't like that one?
So, here's the thing.
Did you put it on your worst list?
That is my worst episode. But
I really like that one.
I like the part where he falls in love with the spaceship. I don't like the part where Archangel is like...
I forgot that was the Archangel episode.
Yeah, that's the Archangel
So I'm just praising a subplot right now, because Archangel's kind of obnoxious.
And he's, like, obsessed with destroying Apocalypse, and it's annoying.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is more annoying, though? Archangel's obsession with Apocalypse, or Iceman's hatred for Xavier and Cyclops?
I think it's probably Archangel.
I think you're right, but Iceman's not great either.
I only did 1 best episode and 1 worst episode.
Oh, well, sure, absolutely.
So, Cold Comfort is probably, like, if I had another bad episode, I would probably put that on there.
I mean, if I ranked them, it would be lower. I don't even know if it would be right at the top.
Yeah.
We could look closer at some of these. I mean, like, I didn't love the Long Shot episode. I thought that was kind of a nothing throwaway episode.
Yeah, that wasn't... I don't know.
Of course, you're not going to like that, because that's a follow-up to Mojo, and you didn't like Mojo in the first place.
I didn't like Mojo Vision in the first place, yeah. And then, of course, Cyclops being mad at everyone. I do not like Cyclops. I like him... I like what they do with him, but I don't like how he's, like, really, really annoying and, like, just screaming at everyone. Like, I feel... like his pain for a little bit, and then he just starts going all like, and it's just
it's great that he's put through the gauntlet initially, and he kind of has to go through like a really tragic sort of descent through his own personal hell, and then he's he's kind of redeemed by the end by virtue of you know, sticking fast to his principles and heroism and, you know, continuing to try to do the right thing, but he's just complaining and whining all the way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's got a whole episode where he tries to leave, where he's just like, I'm tired of trying.
Yeah.
And, you know, after Jean Grey dies,
That's
or seems to.
That's the one with Kilgrave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple Man.
In the Purple Man episode, he's really good.
It's really good,
despite how annoying Cyclops is in that.
Yeah. And he's actually kind of scary.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
and that's all. Let me say, that is all execution before its concept, because I do like the idea of Cyclops kind of having this moment where his faith is, where he's questioning his faith, or it's nearly shattered, and he's unsure of himself, and he's in kind of the place that Xavier is in Days of Future Past, the past 70s Xavier, where he's questioning his convictions real hard, but he's just so horribly unlikable that I don't want to watch. Like I felt for that Xavier all the way through in that movie, even as he is, you know, drug addicted and you know, like holding himself off in a room and not doing anything, and somehow he never became unsympathetic to me.
Yeah.
These are unfair comparisons, I'm sure.
He's my worst character, because he's just really annoying.
The Cyclops?
Yeah.
And hasn't been before, of course.
Probably, yeah. I think so.
And again, like, I like that we have this, I don't mean to keep harping on this, but we have what before was this very, like, sort of one-dimensional, overall, I think, like, stalwart leader guy who, like more or less always did the right thing, or at least thought he did, and never really questioned anything. And then he's got to kind of take a good hard look at himself, because that's not wholly true. This is a guy who makes mistakes and isn't real good at recognizing that, I don't think. And he earlier has that one kind of moment where he's like, oh man, I've been, you know, I was wrong in leaving Morph behind. I'm not gonna do that again. So, like, you know, we've had a moment or two like that. But I really like that kind of shattering disillusionment thing.
Yeah. And then my best episode is Savage Land Strange Heart, because it's hilarious.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just because it's funny?
It's really funny, and I also kind of like it.
That's the one where Sauron, it is a two-parter, and Sauron is morphing back and forth between himself and some guy, and every time...
And that guy, like, you can't understand what he's saying, because
he's speaking such a low register.
Just like this.
Yeah. And every time Sauron comes out of his body, he has to say something like, Sauron lives! Just every time.
Sauron lives once again!
Once again, yeah. Almost like he's programmed to say a thing when he's activated, like the EMH in Star Trek Voyager. Like, please state the nature of the medical emergency. Sauron lives again! Yeah, it's pretty funny. Remind me what else happens in that, though. Because that's really all I remember, is he's just kind of, like, terrorizing the city for a minute.
It's the giant rock. Remember that?
And, I remember Jubilee as a Flintstone.
Yes. That's...
Her in that goofy
hilarious.
outfit? Yeah.
And, I think Wolverine has a couple one-liners, too, in that. And, there's just some funny lines in it. And it's just... It's really funny.
That is, for the record, that is definitely not the best episode of that season.
Yeah, probably not.
Well,
it's probably the Phoenix Saga. But...
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, Jason. But I'm just saying, I don't think that's the best episode of the season.
What do you think is the best episode of the season?
It's probably the second or third part of Phoenix Saga.
Yeah, I also like Out of the Past, which is the first episode.
Remind me what happens in that. It's fine. It's fun that they fight a big, like, electromagnetic, like interdimensional being.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of the stuff I like in the season is the science fiction stuff. Yeah. Like, weirdly, they do that stuff really well, and that all feels very Claremont, and I'm sure some of that is taken from stories that I didn't read.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if if the sentient spaceship that Beast falls in love with he doesn't really fall in love with her, but he kind of does. And she's really sympathetic, and it's sad when she kind of dies. But I wonder if that was a Claremont thing in the first place. I bet that's one of his stories.
But yeah, the Out of the Past is the one with.
see, Jayson just watches this show for meme bait.
Yeah.
It's all about the stuff you can make memes out of for Jayson.
Yeah. So I think my funniest thing.
Oh, real quick with Yuriko, can we talk about that for a second?
Yuriko, yeah.
Because she has this whole thing where she wants revenge on Wolverine, and even when she finds out that that he's not remotely responsible for what happens to her, she still hates him and wants revenge on him.
Yeah, I don't know, like, why. And also, why do you need those giant claws?
It's so impractical. Like, I don't know how you cook dinner. I don't know how you drive your car. I don't know how you do anything with those.
Yeah, like, I mean, she does live in the sewers.
And then I don't think she did before that, though. She, like, went and hired somebody to, like, turn her into an abomination.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm so beautiful now!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But I do like that she's reasonable enough to work with Wolverine when they go up against that bizarre space creature.
Yeah. Oh, also, they talk about Cyclops and Jean not marrying. Except there was a wedding episode in, like, season 1.
I want to go back and look at that and see what we missed there.
Yeah, I don't know if we
I suspect we didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But through this whole... Because Jayson and I argued about this back and forth, where he kept calling Jean Cyclops' wife, and I'm like, they're not married, Jayson. And he's like, we saw a wedding. I'm like, but Jayson, you've missed it. 2 or 3 times they've talked about when we get married. I guess to ramp up the drama of the Phoenix saga, where it's like, oh no, if the Phoenix doesn't get out of Jean Grey, then they can't be married and they can't live happily ever after. But yeah, we saw a wedding, and Wolverine didn't show up to it, and then he said, and then he apologized for not being there, like he just couldn't take it, he just couldn't handle watching Cyclops marry the girl of his dreams, and the sense you got was that the thing actually happened because he said, I'm sorry, I couldn't be there. Well, so why didn't it count?
He does say that he's got to stop a wedding. I mean, he probably...
Did he stop it? Am I forgetting something from that episode?
There's probably...
Okay,
I think there was, like, aliens that come to the wedding or something. I don't even know what happened.
I don't even remember that episode anymore. But okay, well, let's assume, let's give the show the benefit of the doubt, because we've forgotten this episode, and say that we should have gone back and looked at it. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't actually get married in that episode. Why didn't they get married like a week or 2 later? We do this in TV all the time, where it's like, something crashes the wedding. That's the big conflict for the episode. Oh, we can't turn right around and get married now. We have to wait a year or 5. Why?
Why? Yeah.
So that the viewers tuning in have something to look forward to. That's the reason. And there's never an actual in-universe reason for it, and that drives me insane. It's one of the most obnoxious...
driving me insane.
Insane! It's one of the most obnoxious TV tropes, particularly from the 90s. I hate it. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
We had the same thing notoriously with Lois and Clark. There are 3 wedding episodes of that show.
Oh wow. Wait. Really?
They just keep trying to get married. It's like an ongoing gag where they try to get married and then something breaks up the wedding and they can't get married.
Oh my gosh.
But they always wait too long. It's like, why can't we go ahead and get... And Smallville kind of does it too. Toward the end. But anyway, if memory serves, I think.
And then I think this is like the last thing.
Okay.
This is a short video.
Oh, we can find a way to stretch it out if you really want to.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
My favorite, like, funny thing...
You never want to say that until the video is actually really about done and we're totally wrapping up, because you have no idea how much longer we might end up going. Yeah. It's like, wow, Dad, this is a really short video. What else do we have to do? One thing. Okay, don't say that, because that one thing could be 20 minutes. Sorry, go ahead.
So my favorite funny thing is actually kind of a whole episode, but it's when Cyclops is like, okay, Dad.
What did you think of that whole thing?
That was weird.
With Corsair.
What? Why did he just turn right around and like act like he was his father? Like, why?
What do you mean?
Because he was like, "You're not my father," and then at the end of the episode, he's like, "You're my father." Like,
it's rushed, certainly, but I think the character arc overall is okay, where Corsair proves to him that he's a good person and that he cares about him and that he's not that he's not completely out for himself.
Yeah.
Corsair so we've been watching through Firefly. We're going to do a review of that in the not too distant future, and he reminded me a lot of Malcolm Reynolds, where he's got a heart of gold. He's a good person underneath, but he feels like he has to do some bad things for what he thinks are the right reasons. So he's got very much that Han Solo roguish thing going on.
Yeah.
And Cyclops didn't trust that. He thought that his father was totally deceptive and totally out for himself and would, sell them out at any point. And he proves that he's, loyal to him in that episode, and that we're talking kind of broadly here, but he's on the run from the Shi'ar because we cannot get away from the Shi'ar in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the episode with the guy.
Yes.
With the, like, big eyes. And he looks a lot like a Klingon.
Yep.
And he just, like, every single time, like, his eyes are huge.
You remember that part when we're first introduced to Corsair and Jean Grey has, like, a thought balloon practically in a cartoon show where she goes... Cyclops, I can't tell you, and then
Wolverine.
Oh, it's Wolverine. Yeah, yeah. Speaking to Wolverine, and then she's like, I can't tell you, and then in her head, the line it's so weird in a TV show to see basically in an adaptation of a thought balloon. She goes, that he is Scott's father. That's one of the funnier moments to me. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag season.
Yeah.
Certainly. I said at the beginning that in some ways it's the best season. I think I'm just saying that because some of the dramatic situations are more exciting and more engaging than anything that we had in the show before. But I think overall, as a piece, it's not as good as those first two seasons because we don't get back to the basics of the X-Men concept enough. I think is my issue. Even when we get back to Earth, we're not dealing enough with the with the issue of humans and mutants trying to coexist. It is fun that we get as much downtime as we do, though.
Yeah.
Because we do get to see our characters doing a lot of, just kind of, like, fun out and about stuff, like horseback riding and, going shopping or whatever. And it's always interrupted by, some catastrophe, but...
Yeah. Especially that part where Rogue is like, you gotta have some fun, Storm, and then later she's like... Ah! And she's like trying to get everyone, and then Rogue's like, I didn't mean like that.
Yeah, that was kind of a flat character arc for Storm, where the whole thing was about her being right that she needs to be stoic. Because at the beginning of that episode, Rogue's like, you need to let loose, Storm. Maybe it's okay to be out of control sometimes. And Storm's like, no, you don't understand. I control the weather. Like, if I go out of control... like, things get set on fire with lightning. It's a bad idea. And Rogue's like, nah, just let yourself loose. And then later, she gets, like, what, mind controlled or not mind controlled?
Yeah. From, by the guy. Except he's, dinosaur. I forgot what his name was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's Sauron that does it to her, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, see, and we should have kind of gone back to that... Sorry. We should have gone back to the beginning of that episode and kind of bookended it more, where maybe she and Rogue have a conversation about it at the end, and Storm's like, see, this is why I'm basically a Vulcan, Rogue.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else. I'm trying to think.
Also, real quick with Storm, I'm always laughing at how she has to constantly, like, announce, again, in, like, a Shakespearean way, what she's doing, as if, with her powers, as if she's, like, a sorceress or something, because she's not, and she does this in the comics, too. Storm doesn't use magic, she's a mutant, and I'm just imagining other mutants, like other X-Men, announcing their powers, like they're in a Capcom game, you know? Like, what if Wolverine actually said Berserker Barrage, you know, in this show? It would be like that, right?
Yeah.
Or it would be like, if Wolverine was like, I now command my body to heal itself! You know, because Storm's always like, I command the elements, and you're like, you know, lightning, heed my call. You're like, Rogue, hands, suck out this dude's life force. Beast, feet, grab that pole. Somehow it's less silly when Storm does it, but you imagine it in the context of anybody else. And Gambit, like talks to about his playing cards.
Yeah.
You know, he does that, but that's kind of more for show. You know,
see a magic.
First we charge the card. You know, he does that,
Yeah,
but he's not like playing card. Heed my call.
Turn into plasma or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. It's like purple fire or something.
Oh, and Jubilee's power is still totally useless.
Really?
I mean,
I mean,
just blows up things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good thing, though, right?
They still don't use it for a lot, right?
Yeah. Is
any other
Jubilee like actually in the comics?
Yeah.
I mean, I know like she has this like thing with Wolverine in the comics.
In Amalgam, well then, if you knew she had something going on in the
like,
comics, then why you're asking me if she's in the comics?
I didn't know if she was in like the original comics.
In Amalgam, she and Robin have a fling, and then when they start mixing the characters, she and Robin are a mixed character. So you have a female Robin that is basically Jubilee with Robin's stick.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That happened.
He's got a stick, and then you can go.
You would love those. You gotta go back and read those.
Yeah, I gotta go back and read.
I know years ago when you were little, you were reading some of those.
We have to go back.
Any other like major guest stars or anything we need to mention? Because you've. It seems like we're trying to represent every X-Men character and team that we can in swift fashion, but without spending the money to hire anyone to voice them. That's a thing I noticed a lot this season, where it's like, here's the Starjammers. We're going to give like 2 of them voices, and the rest of them are just not going to talk at all. And then we did that also even more so with X-Factor? Was it X-Factor or X-Force?
I think it was X-Force. Yeah.
I forget.
It's X-Force because they were like attacking them at like the end of the show or something. I don't know.
It was a team led by Forge,
yeah,
which was cool because we've only seen Forge in the future so far. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's the guy that runs the time portal.
Oh yeah.
That Bishop keeps running through. So I don't know if you caught that. I thought that was nice and sly, where they didn't feel, real inconspicuous. They didn't feel the need to talk about Days of Future Past at all. Yeah. Like, there wasn't any forced mention of him in the future or anything. He's just there. I thought that was great. But, like, that whole team, nobody talks.
Yeah.
They're just in some action scenes.
Yeah, they're just fighting with the X-Men.
But yeah, that's...
X-Forge.
Oh, is this the season with the really unfortunate sound choice for Banshee?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is because he's Loira's husband, I think. Right?
Moira?
Moira.
Did you say Loira?
Yeah, I thought her name was Loira.
Her name is Moira. Moira McTaggart. Yes, yeah, right, because they're both Scottish.
Yeah.
And he does this hilarious screech whenever he's flying, because in First Class, it's intelligently interpreted as, like, bat sonar.
Yeah.
Or something, where it's just like sending out waves from his mouth, and it has a sonar sound, but it doesn't sound like screaming. And in this, we have to listen for like a full 15 straight seconds to.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's really funny.
Well, anyway, is that it?
Yeah.
That's all I've got, I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks a lot for watching, folks. That was our discussion on X-Men Season 3. We will have another one for you next week. Not on X-Men, but something else. And like I said, Firefly soon, so look forward to that. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan.
And I was Jayson.
And we are father
and son.
Later on, folks.